James Paul G's Social Linguistics and Literacies is an intimate look at how we construct the meanings of words. He writes, "These ideas about words and their meanings are quite common. So common they are, for many people, a form of common sense. So what happens when we do not agree on meanings? When we believe our meaning is correct and that someone else's is wrong? Or when meaning must be called into questions because of current usages?" G addresses these problems in his book, which carefully examines not only the words, but the ideologies behind them as well. Words are what we personally make of them. They are a commingling of knowledge and beliefs that weave into stories and theories. Definitions are a tricky thing to deal with, because who can say that they are really right? Meanings of words, G argues, are ultimately rooted in negotiation between different social practices with different interests by people who share or seek to share some common ground. The question of power also plays into this, for those in power can ultimately determine what the correct meaning of a word is. He describes it as a social contest over words, and something that is rooted in our culture. And, as we all know, when multiple cultures battle for dominance, one ultimately wins. G proposes a theory about the meaning of words that we can translate into our language instruction. 1. Words can vary across contexts of use. 2. They are composed of changing stories, knowledge, beliefs, and values that are encapsulated in cultural models, not definitions. 3. Words are a matter, as well, of social negotiations rooted in culture, if only in the broad sense of a search for common ground. 4. For many words, at many points in their histories, meaning is relatively stabilized thanks to the fact that many people accept and share a convention about what they mean in different contexts of use. 5. These conventions can be undone, contested, and changed. 6. It takes social work to enforce and police the meaning of words, work that never in the end can ensure their meaning still will not change or be contested. G's theories can be very hard to wrap one's mind around, but ultimately what I take away from this book is that good teaching is ultimately a moral act. Perhaps one of the most important pull-away points from this book is that it is extremely important for us to be sensitive to our students' different discourses. There is no incorrect way of speaking in the classroom. It is, however, key for us to note the differences and discuss them. Our way of speaking reflects our background. So if we put off students' way of speaking, we're really putting off their culture. We must not tear down other discourses, but rather facilitate non-mainstream students and give them a chance to speak in the classroom. Social valuing is political, says G. All successful teaching, that is, teaching that inculcates discourse and not just content, is political. Matthew Nostra's article, Inquiry into Urban Adolescent Independent Reading Habits, Can G's Theory of Discourses Provide Insight?, touches upon concerns with language being a social construct and seems to highlight G's ideals that we need to respect multiple cultural practices. In this study, they affirm that students need to be introduced to the dominant discourses valued in schools and be given opportunities to succeed, as each step from a more comfortable primary discourse may be risking rejection and failure for them. There is a strong connection among independent reading habits, social relationships, and identity formation, a connection that may have a powerful influence on whether students are avid or reluctant readers. G's theory, the study says, implies that some students may struggle because of a tension between a home or primary discourse and acquiring a new, uncomfortable secondary discourse, one that may be powerful in schools, for example. Of course, this article implies only one of the many ways we can apply G's theories to our own classrooms. G takes the topic of language very seriously. He encourages us to reflect on our discourses, urging that such knowledge is power. He says it has the ability to protect us all from harming others and from being harmed. Language is the very foundation of resistance and growth.